Hello and welcome to the Big Bang Theory podcast. My name's John. I'm here with my friend and colleague Dan.
Hello.
Happy New Year.
Thanks. Happy New Year to you.
Thanks.
And to all of you.
And all of you, all three of you listening. No, the stats are in. It's been a good year for the Big Bang Theory podcast.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to say.
Nothing to compare it to, have we? but good.
I think we're better than Argyle, their podcast, certainly.
Cool.
So, that's another one in the eye for them. And a good festive period all round.
Yeah. Yeah, it was actually, wasn't it?
Really
What's
good.
the points total?
Well, you've asked me a question I haven't got the answer to. I think we're on 47, aren't we?
Oh, yeah, but, for the Christmas.
Oh, for the Christmas.
thing.
Well, we got 11 in December, and then we picked up a magnificent 3 in the 1st of January.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Which takes us to 47 points in total, 2 off top of the league.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
Very good. And unbeaten across the whole festive period.
Absolutely. When do you count the festive period from?
I think it's sort of mid-December. It's when you get that little flurry, isn't it?
Well, we're actually unbeaten in longer than that, which it's just been a really incredibly solid month and a bit now, hasn't it?
Yeah, despite some kind of ridiculous moments, really, and some things going against us,
Absolutely.
Like, some things that are self-inflicted, some things that aren't. It's not exactly been smooth sailing, apart from the results, which sort of have been very smooth.
So the last time you heard from us, we just beaten Newport on Boxing Day. We've since travelled to the, what's it called? Jobs, Power, People's...
www.jobserve.com stadium.
In Colchester. Nice one. And come away with a 2-2 draw, a point away from home, which meant that we got 11 points from our December games.
Yeah, they were banging form as well, weren't they?
Yeah. And actually, to go in front, so City went in front from a really nicely worked Jake Taylor goal. Jay played it into him. Taylor used his chest to take the defenders out of the action, out of the picture.
Lovely touch.
Touch.
It's a lovely touch and a good finish. Yeah.
It's the finest chest we've seen since Blackbeard buried one off of the Exmouth coast.
Did anyone find it?
No one's found it, no.
Well, get looking.
Full of bullion.
It's out there.
Is that the word?
Yeah, gold bullion.
Yeah. Oh,
Well, no.
bullion, yeah.
I don't know if would it be that?
Why not?
Booty. Full of booty.
Full of booty. Anyway, Taylor's chest was lovely. Took the defenders out of action and then hit it across the goalkeeper into the left-hand corner of the goal. Took us 1-0 up. We then,
Yeah, an early goal. First of 2 early goals.
started, you mean, to go on for the year, I suppose. So that was Taylor. And then we had a really poor set piece set up. Corner for Colchester, about 20 minutes after our goal.
Yeah, a bit weird, wasn't it?
Well, we've got some tall players in our team.
Yes.
We've also got some short players in our team. Colchester,
Very much so.
Like other clubs, Colchester have also got a mix of tall and short players.
Yeah.
We went for the option of making our smallest players mark their biggest players.
They got this guy, and I don't know his name, Colchester.
Yeah, Empire State Building.
And he's like 8 foot.
Yeah. I mean, you're not exaggerating there,
Just
are you?
a massive
Just a
guy.
very large man.
Anyway, he's sort of on the near post, or, and I don't know how it's happened, but he's ended up sort of being marked by Ben Seymour, and he just sort of...
Who probably still growing. I don't mean to be rude by saying that.
No, he probably is. And does he even need to jump? I can't quite remember the...
Well, just kind of peels away from him, and then Seymour kind of realises and leaps wholeheartedly, but he's never going to get there.
He's never going to get there.
So we concede 1-1. Then, second half, they kind of hoof the ball, a different kind of chest, directly at Aaron Martin's chest, and it cannons off. He's got the old 50p chest.
Yeah.
Which is different to Blackbeard's.
He's just sort of made of
$1
50p's, isn't he?
Yeah.
It's a man built out of...
He's angles. Yeah.
Anyway,
so dings off in a curious fashion.
They made the most of that one, didn't they?
They did, so we're down 2-1. And I'm thinking,
yeah.
And I'm thinking those poor swines at the www.jobservestadium.com.
Yeah. We did a bit better after that, didn't we? After we went behind.
Yeah.
And then...
Someone came off the bench. I don't know if this is to do with him or not, but a Jose was then brought on.
That's nice to see, wasn't it? He's back.
Nice to see.
He is back. But then, some ridiculous kind of... It sort of deflects off one of their players and works out being the perfect through ball.
Yeah, Atangana, I think, wasn't trying to do that at all.
He just sort of whacks it off the defender and ends, lands perfectly and on-rushing kind of Bowman. And someone just pushes him in the back and he falls over and we get a pen.
Yeah.
Straight red.
Bowman, I mean, I'm suggesting that. I don't know him. He's an angry man, I think. I think his default setting is anger.
Okay.
Rage.
Right.
Lividness. And he gets his penalty. He's already crossed. He's been pushed over. Gets his penalty. He's shouting for the penalty. They give it to him. Then he's shouting for the red card. They give it to him. He doesn't know what to do with himself. He's got nowhere to direct his anger. So he's just kind of raging at the floor. You just kind of see him in the highlights Hoo!
Yeah,
you can hear his hernia popping out.
He must have got it all out of his system because it was the calmest penalty you're ever likely to see.
It was. He did exactly the right thing. But I thought, Ryan, you're. I wouldn't want to play Monopoly against you on the. Well, I couldn't play on Boxing Day. You were playing football, but day after.
No.
He's turning the tables over, isn't he? He's accusing the banker of.
He's kicking off.
He's kicking right off. Anyway, so that's 2-2. And we actually had a chance to win it, I think. Bowman had a good headed chance near post.
That's before, I think. That's before we were 2-1 down. We had a couple of... Josie had a couple of half chances at the back post, but I don't really think they were massively... They weren't really clear-cut opportunities, and he's obviously just coming back from a long time out. So I'll take the point there, and I won't...
No. Matt Taylor said, didn't he? He didn't think we used our advantage. I think it was 15 minutes, wasn't there? With 10 men.
We really didn't. Did we? If anything, they seemed to be sort of doing the more of the attacking than we were. Once they were down to 10 men, which is a shame because there's a little opportunity there, isn't there, to sort of complete the comeback when you've got a man extra.
Yeah.
But as we all come on to, it's not always that easy to play against 10 men, is it?
No, indeed, it's not. So that was the Sunday. I've got no idea what day it is today.
Nobody does.
Nobody does. But that was definitely a Sunday game. And then we went to Forest Green on New Year's Day, which I think is a Wednesday.
Okay.
Forest Green away. We took about 700. So we were almost half the crowd at their strange little stadium. Which
soon to be wooden.
Yeah, are they going to build it on that one or are they building a new one?
I don't know.
There. Anyway, Dale Vince, who sounds like a wrestler, doesn't he? And he kind of looks like a wrestler. Owner of FGR, has got himself a little wooden stadium.
Yeah, and it was quite... I mean, you can see this kind of architect's mock-up of it.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, wow, look at that thing.
Yeah.
It looks like one of these kind of modern bowl stadiums, but entirely made out of,
planks of 2x4.
Balsa wood or whatever. But then it's 5,000 seater. 5,000?
Right.
That's tiny, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's basically half St James Park, isn't it?
I mean...
If St James Park was the whole way round...
They're not a big team, and they're probably never going to be. But still...
You didn't have a bit more ambition.
Yeah, where are you going to host your conferences and concerts?
Have you got an ABBA tribute band that need to play? Well, they're going to go straight to the Johnny Rock Stadium for a number of reasons in Cheltenham.
You get a free lift back to your hotel.
Listeners, if you don't know, that's a reference to the Cheltenham Stadium owned by Johnny Rocks, who's the limo driver of Cheltenham.
Yeah.
Anyway, there we are.
So we were on to...
So we went up there.
They're a bit up and down, aren't they, recently? But, always going to be a challenge.
Well, yeah.
They're not a walkover team, are they?
No.
But they are inconsistent. They score even less goals than us.
Which we'll come on to in a minute. Mark Cooper's been there a long time.
Cooper.
Who some of us aren't a fan of.
No one's a fan of Mark Cooper.
Maybe his dad.
I'd be surprised if even any Forest Green fans liked him that much.
Well, interesting to have a look at their social media last night.
Oh, yeah?
People were calling for his head. Seems a bit extreme to me. I think essentially their concern is, which might sound familiar to you, Exeter City fans, they had a star striker and he wasn't really replaced. Doidge, of course. Well, they had that weird thing, didn't they? Because Christian Doidge was their key man first half of last season.
Yeah.
Then he got sold to Bolton for a lot of money, which they never paid. So Dale Vince went up there in a vest and a pair of large boots and probably in a limo, in fact, and went to the backstage of the Bolton Stadium and they had a wrestling match with whoever now, Ken Anderson or the Bolton owner. It was made for WWF, and did a triple suplex, and they had to send Christian Doidge back.
Is that what happened?
That's exactly what happened.
Right, he didn't go up there sort of like, I don't know, waving some celery about. Like, oh, please, can we have?
No, he's interesting.
Christian
He's
back?
a vegan wrestler.
Okay.
So he covers both sides of things.
Right, so yeah, they haven't got him anymore.
So anyway, Doidge came back, didn't he, for the rest of last season, and so they knew really early on that he was going to somewhere. The Forest Green suggestion is you really had 9 months to prepare for getting someone else in, and he went to Hibs, didn't he? So they've paid some money for him, certainly, and they've got no one. And as we saw from the game yesterday, the banjo remained some distance away from the barn door.
Yeah, it really did. Yeah, they were bad, weren't they?
They were bad. So, if you didn't see it, City, 5 minutes in, looked great. Like, first 5 minutes looked great. Atangana scored an absolute peach of a goal from outside of the box, I think.
Yeah, way outside.
Slotted it into the bottom right.
Yeah.
Absolute precision. Stroked it. Ladled it.
Yeah, lovely goal.
Laser beam.
Really well worked. And we looked like we were just all over them, weren't we?
All over them, weren't we?
And after that as well, Law had a chance. It sort of like deflected onto the bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we looked like
we looked great.
It was going to be an easy day.
Did. Half-time came.
Yeah, so we couldn't capitalise on that, basically.
No, that's right. So we got to half-time, and I was thinking, well, Taylor's going to tell him, get stuck into this, lads, finishes off. Atangana took him a bit too literally, and his studs got stuck in a Forest Green midfielder's
it's
legs.
a bit of a harsh one, I think, in a way.
I think it is harsh. Straight red.
I mean, it's not...
He can believe it.
I don't think it's like the harshest thing in the world. Who knows? I don't know. I tried watching it about a few times. Like, they both sort of go in for this sort of knee-high ball. They both got their feet up. The Forest Green player gets the ball and I just misses it, and his studs go into the guy's leg. So, I mean, you know, you can't really argue with the red.
And the ref was really close.
The ref's right there. I mean, it's right in the middle of the park, isn't it? And I know that's what he's there to do, to win those balls in the middle. But, you know, nothing would have... I mean, you can never say never. It didn't look like much was going to happen. Not like it was like, you know, to stop a goal.
No,
it, you know?
indeed.
But anyway,
I mean, I'd imagine, as well as kicking Matey, he'll now be kicking himself.
Yeah, so he's gone.
He's gone, and he'd been great.
Yeah, and he'd been getting better and better every single game, hasn't he? Recently,
yeah,
he's looking like becoming one of our best players.
Yeah,
and then
so off he walks
straight away. As soon as he gets second half, I mean, it's straight.
It's a whole half.
About 30 seconds after the second half.
So we're all like, So I was watching it on iFollow. You watching it on iFollow?
Yeah, I was just thinking, this is going to be difficult for the rest of this half.
And it was difficult.
Not that difficult.
Well,
yeah, you're right. It was.
We defended incredibly well. Like, we were just back in our positions constantly. We were there. But they had chances, didn't they, Forest Green?
They did. Some they missed. Some which were brilliantly saved by Max. Had made about 2 or 3 like really good saves, and also one which he got quite lucky with, where he's not a catcher of the ball, is he?
No,
Instead,
no, he's
I don't
not.
want to criticise him after he's had one of his best games for us, but he didn't like catching it.
No,
he's a puncher. He's a palmer.
Yeah.
So there's one where he palms it out. Good save, but palmed it straight into the path of not Christian Doidge,
No.
who spoons it well wide, but should have scored.
Yeah.
You know, but like I said, Max had kept us in the game
Max had
more
kept us in
than
the game.
one occasion, including the penalty.
Including the penalty. So we then go in our comedy of errors and concede a penalty. Aaron Martin.
Yeah. So you just think like, oh, here we go then.
It was a penalty, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was like,
Yeah.
I think the ref probably had a pretty good game. Like, whether you call the red card harsh or not, I don't think he made him like glaring errors.
No, it seemed right.
Which was, I mean, that's different to what people at the ground are saying. So maybe I missed something, but
yeah, okay.
It's
always a bit like that, isn't it? When you're watching it on telly, you can't really get quite the same picture of what's going on.
No, I mean, I thought it seemed like a penalty to me. It seemed like it could be a red card to me. Anyway, penalty, Max dead save. Outstanding. You think, well, maybe this could be the time. And then they, miss a few more glarers.
Yeah. I think what was interesting is, obviously, we lost Jack Sparks.
Yes. So he went off
on
injured
Boxing Day.
on Boxing Day.
And then it looked like... So then City announced that he's going to be out for the season. Officially, he's out for the season. The next day, Sparks himself comes back onto social media and says, actually, I'm going to be back sooner than that.
Not as bad as we thought.
Yeah, we don't know when, but before the end of the season, presumably. Hopefully. So we're down now to no left backs because Craig Woodman's injured.
Yeah.
Dean Moxey's injured.
Yeah.
And
Sparks is now injured.
So Jayden Richardson plays there.
Yeah.
He was a sort of right wing back, really, isn't he?
Yeah.
So, and not a particularly defensive player, I wouldn't have thought. But and I thought in the Colchester game he didn't provide anywhere near as like what Jack Sparks had been going forward.
Yeah.
You know, but in the Forest Green game, you could tell they obviously knew. They knew that we didn't have any fit left backs.
Yeah.
So every bit of their attack was going down that right hand side.
Yeah.
Yeah. So so they definitely kind of singled him out, and I thought he defended like the whole game, did so well.
Yeah.
And fair play to playing out of position, and just worked his socks off and was brilliant. I thought.
Absolutely.
I mean, who knows? Going forward, didn't have much to do because we tend to attack down the other side, and we didn't do a huge amount of attacking in the second half, but he did a lot of defending. So, really good game for him. And, to fill in like that is an achievement.
Indeed. So we managed to win the game 1-0, to start the new year beautifully. At one point, it looked like we might even go top because Swindon were playing Argyle and Argyle were ahead. Actually, Swindon managed to get the win.
Yeah.
Which I ain't that sorry about. But anyway, we...
what would you rather?
Well, I'd rather... Promotion's the most important thing to me.
Yeah.
And as well as Argyle being Argyle, they're a playoff rival. In fact, they're in form. They're coming up the charts, aren't they? So I'd rather Swindon stayed a few points ahead of us and the teams in 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th stayed further behind us.
Yeah, I think I'm with you there. And I could never bring myself to root for Argyle to win either. So.
Absolutely not. A draw might have suited us, but maybe it's good that Argyle are pegged back a bit.
Yeah.
So we finish the game 1-0, and the reaction on both our players, who were ecstatic, and their players, who were distraught, was really kind of striking.
Yeah.
Obviously, they should have won that. I mean, you can be playing one of the best teams in the league. If you've got 45 minutes with one more player, you've both got time to work out what to do and to do it.
Yeah, and you're at home as well.
Yeah. What was interesting, because obviously Forest Green's kind of a made-up team, isn't it? Like, I know they love putting 1897 on all their stuff, but they've been very much a non-league team for a very much a long time.
Yeah.
Didn't look like many... I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. If anyone from Forest Green's listening, which I very much doubt, didn't look like they cared. Like, when you watch City or any other team, and the team that you're losing to are time-wasting a bit, and... that kind of thing. People are going mad on the sidelines, right?
Yeah.
Forest Green, who was kind of sat there, like...
Not bothered.
Not bothered. So that's quite interesting, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I mean, I wonder maybe the more hardcore kind of football fans in that area might just go somewhere else. I don't know.
There's lots of... Obviously, you've got all your Bristol teams.
Yeah.
You've got Cheltenham. You've got... Oxford going the other way. So probably it's just not a thing, And in the same way that people who live in Tiverton support Exeter City,
yeah,
I guess it's the same. If someone threw a load of money at Tivy Town, doesn't mean you'd instantly get a crowd of rabid, hardcore fans.
No.
So anyway, that was that. I thought it was interesting, and I think, at home, obviously they should be putting that away, but also maybe home doesn't mean that much to them. Maybe it's a bit crap there.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe that's why they want to move to this new...
Yeah.
One made out of lolly sticks, whatever it is.
Someone's CDT project from from secondary school. Well, that was that. So we sit in second, and there's plenty more to say about that shortly. Yeah, so the league table looks friendly. Beginning of January 2020. Welcome to the future, Dan. Swindon sit top, 49 points, 25 played. City, second, 25 played, 47 points. Then you got Crewe, they're a game behind us, 24 played. They got 44 points. And they got a very much better goal difference than us. Then you got Bradford, 24 games played, 43. Then Forest Green, 5th place, 25 games played, 40 points. Colchester, 39 points. Northampton, 39 points. Cheltenham, 38 points. In lowly 9th, you've got Argyle on 38 points. So they're 9 points behind us, them and Cheltenham, who are the first teams outside the playoffs. Then it tails away quite quickly. Port Vale behind them by 3. Salford, 15 points behind us in 11th place. So it's starting to really shape up to being a kind of 9 teams at the top. Obviously, most of those teams have got more resources than we have. And the transfer market approaches.
Yes.
Which is quite interesting. Now, here's an interesting thing. We've talked quite a lot about us not scoring. Actually, we've scored 35 goals. Now, you compare that to Swindon, 45, and Crewe, 46. You think that ain't that good. But Bradford have only scored 31. Forest Green have only scored 27. Colchester have scored 35. And Northampton have scored 34. So we're actually joint third best scorers in the league now.
Okay. So, actually, we're just doing the same as everyone else. And,
yeah. I mean, Crewe are scoring for absolute fun.
Yeah.
But I think if Swindon and Crewe are the other informed teams, great. If that knocks off the playoff lot, that, if the 4th to 7th teams are starting to trail behind, brilliant. Let them fight out over the playoffs.
Yes. Yeah, true. Although the more places taken up by 2 teams being... blow. If they start to pull away, Crewe and Swindon, that's 2 places in the automatics gone.
Yeah.
So we're then pretty vulnerable in that.
We are
playing for 1 place, and anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
Especially, we've been really solid so far, so there's nothing to suggest we won't be. But you never know. And I would much rather if we were more so that we were keeping up with them rather than we were the best of the other lot.
Yeah, I completely understand. Well, we are keeping up with them. So,
yeah, we are. But just not... The only thing we're not is in terms of goals.
Yeah.
But,
we'll see. So...
as long as you get the points, it actually doesn't matter. We've got more points than Crewe.
Yes, we have. And although they've got that game in hand... What's the game in hand? So we were supposed...
Yeah. So we've got the same... Well, even if they say they win it, we've got the same amount of points as
we
them.
have.
So, and that is the thing that matters, really. But, yeah.
I think it's quite interesting because, of course, they were supposed to be playing us on Saturday. Crewe was supposed to be City this Saturday.
Right, yeah,
I think maybe that's quite a useful game not to have.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Let them...
Yeah. I agree, yeah.
Now's not the time to concede 10. If we want to kind of push on and,
So who have we got? Ipswich.
So it's Ipswich, who are League One team currently. So we played them a year ago, you might recall.
Yeah.
And we beat them in the Carabao Cup. They looked pretty dismal, actually. They managed to get themselves relegated. They were racing away with League One. Now they're not so much. I think they sit in 4th or 5th at the minute. 5th, I think. And they got Paul Lambert in charge. But it's not this
Yeah, Norwood was banging them in, wasn't he?
Yeah, Norwood's
Not
gone
so
there
much
from
now.
Forest Green. And from Tranmere, wasn't he?
Oh, sorry, no, I was thinking of him. Yeah, I was thinking of him at Tranmere last year.
Yeah, that's right. So
has
he
not
came
been-
from Tranmere.
Yeah.
No, well, it's fine. He's done fine.
Okay.
They all started really well. They started with an absolute bang, them and Wickham, but actually they've trailed off a bit. They drew with Wickham.
Well, I don't think it's not going to
yesterday.
be. This is the leasing.com trophy, isn't it? And people aren't prioritising this.
I don't think anyone's prioritising
Matt
it.
Taylor's already basically said it's going to be the reserves.
Yeah.
And
Lambert said the same.
right, and if they didn't, I'd kind of think, well, you're welcome to it. And I kind of think that anyway. Whatever.
It's the prize money. So people on the internet are talking about the prize money. So if we win the match, it's 40,000.
Okay, well that would be good, wouldn't it?
That would be good.
You can't overlook that.
No, you can't. It's difficult to know, isn't it? Because obviously we might.
But ultimately, there's no point trying to prioritise something to win a kind of one-off lump sum fee of £40,000. I know you get more if you get through to the next round, you win that too. But we've got a very clear target, which has been the target for a long time now, which is get promoted. Yeah. What is this? How many years is it now since we came down? Is this the?
I think it was
8th, 7th.
Yeah. No, I think 8th.
So this is the
8th year in a row in League Two. I think.
So that is the priority.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I'm fine with it, and hopefully he does play the reserves.
Well, he was Paul Lambert the Ipswich manager was livid about this idea of Ipswich being in the southern draw. Did you see this?
No.
So he claimed, erroneously, but claimed nonetheless, that Glasgow, where he's from, is closer to Ipswich than Exeter. It's not, Paul. It's 150 miles closer, but whatever. But I do see his point. Obviously, Ipswich is absolutely on a limb, as is Exeter. So they've taken two limbs of the competition and put them together in this southern competition.
It's a long way away, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a real long way away. And I'd imagine if we had Ipswich away, very few of us would be going. It's quite likely very few of us will be going again. The Saturday thing might help it. My next door neighbour is a season ticket holder. She's absolutely not going. I think that's much the temperature.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I'll probably go.
I think I'll probably go. It's a tenner. Oh, it's a quid if you're under 18.
Okay, well, we're not. So.
Oh, sorry.
We could have a go, though. No, so £10, I'll be,
Yeah, well,
I'll
it's
probably
a Saturday,
go,
isn't it?
get to see
Are you
some of the
hoping
lads
still
you don't
for
normally see.
Cressini?
Well, maybe, he might play.
He might play. What's more interesting, perhaps, for us as a League Two team is that Swindon play Bradford. Bradford being top of the playoff teams on Saturday.
Okay.
So that might be
In the
interesting.
league, yeah?
In
Not
the league.
okay.
Yeah. So I don't even know who's left in the old thingy.
No, whatever. Who cares?
I'm just looking for it. It's not even on the BBC app of fixtures. So what can you say about that? Yeah, that's this Saturday. Then the fixtures.
Yeah, it's a kind of game where, live scores, that live score app don't even have the lineups.
It is exactly that kind of game.
It's one of those ones.
I mean, I'm telling you the truth. The BBC fixtures list for Saturday does not have it listed, but it does have listed that the Greek Super League kicks off at 3:15 and the Australian A-League kick off at 6 a.m.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
So who's playing in that?
I fancy Wellington Phoenix. I thought Wellington was in New Zealand. Anyway, whatever.
It is. I went to Greece in the summer, as we've talked about, and I bought we were on the way to the beach, and I realised I'd forgotten my towel, so we stopped off. I was like,
and it wasn't one of those kind of beaches.
It wasn't one of those kind of beaches, and so we stopped off at this just shop that sells tats. They're everywhere.
Yeah.
And I ran in to get a towel, and there's just quite a few towels, and then I was like, I wonder what football ones they've got, and because they're sort of massive, and the only one they had was Olympiacos.
Okay.
And I was like, I'll get that, And
Sure.
I went back to my friend's family's house, and they were all livid because I'd bought this.
Oh, who do they support?
Olympiacos thing. I think the
other ones.
The preference in that area was Panathinaikos.
Okay.
And I was like, well, they didn't have that, and even if they did, I can't get that because
they play
it's green and white, and Panathinaikos is red and white. So I was like, I had to get that. So yeah, how are they getting on?
I don't know.
No, I don't
the
care.
app doesn't tell me that.
Yeah, that's just
Well, that's how little the world cares about the leasing.com trophy.
Yeah.
And someone said, I think maybe it was the official account of leasing.com trophy. Don't forget, the finals played at Wembley. I thought, well, that's even worse.
No, yeah, that is worse.
I mean, that makes me want to lose it instantly.
Yeah.
Imagine taking 2,000 to Wembley.
Oh, it'd be embarrassing.
And embarrassing for everyone. And what a
Don't
waste of time.
bother.
Don't bother.
I mean, that's going to cost someone some money, isn't it, to play that there?
Yeah. Just play
Save
that.
your money, Mr. Com.
No, it's a woman. It's a woman.com.
Is it?
It's two
no,
people.
double-barreled, isn't it? LeeSing.com.
No, it's a partnership. LeeSing and .com.
Okay, right.
It's very confusing to try and Google her.
Well, Mr. Sing and Mrs. Com, save your cash. Play it at JLC or something. If we get there, just play it at JLC and we'll keep the gate. How's that?
Sounds fair enough. So that's Saturday, but then actually the fixtures get a bit more interesting. We've got quite a busy January. Even with this game on, still got 5 league games in January, which seems remarkable. So we've played Forest Green. We've got Cambridge away. Cambridge at home on the 11th. Then Grimsby away. Then we got Colchester at home, Saturday 25th. And then Port Vale away
turnaround, isn't it?
on a Tuesday night. It's a quick turnaround.
Colchester.
Yeah. So what's interesting about that, I mean, Cambridge we got thumped by in the Cup. Grimsby have got a new manager, though. You been following this?
No, I haven't. Who is it?
Ian Holloway.
Oh, okay. I'd seen him like on stuff, and I thought he might be back.
I mean, he's mental. Like, I do, obviously, the Argyle connection aside, he's good for, like, absolute nonsense that he talks. So, him and his wife went out for a cuppa to talk to the owner. Then they went for this is genuine. I know we've mocked Grimsby for this. They went for a fish supper to kind of seal the deal on, like, Grimsby seafront.
Oh.
And then
He doesn't help himself, does he?
I mean, he loves it, doesn't he? He loves it. And he's even said, if I was
but for a while he was going like, I want to be taken seriously.
Yeah.
And then he's gone back on that now. He says, actually, just anyone, because I guess he hasn't been able to get a job for the last, like, however long. He's going like, I'll be funny again. I'll eat some fish and chips.
Well, if I was a Grimsby fan, I'd be livid, because this is what he said, right? I'll do an impression, because this is an accent I can do. It's the perfect appointment for me, because I'd be up Grimsby a few days a week, and then there's still time for Nanner and Gramper time.
Brilliant.
So he's going to be coming back to Bristol or Plymouth or wherever he lives to look after his grandchildren, and then commuting up to Grimsby.
Oh, so he's grandpa, is he?
He
doesn't
grandpa.
mean his grandpa.
No, I don't think so.
Right.
I don't think so. I think it's him and his wife still looking after the grandchildren.
Oh, right, okay.
And you're like, Ian, mate, Grimsby's miles from anywhere.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Like, even if that's true, don't tell people.
There was nothing like, get excited by a new manager than them announcing how convenient it is for them.
Absolutely. It's only 6 changes on the trains, and I can be back in Bristol for tea.
I mean...
So that's grim. So that'll be interesting.
I vaguely remember there being a slight mention of Holloway when Tisdale left.
Really?
I mean, probably just because, like, everyone... Yeah, and he didn't have a job, and... he didn't, and he was available, but I mean, I'm glad.
I mean, let's hope he makes an absolute dog's dinner of it. He'll be back on Quest TV before we know it.
Yeah, he's one of those people that's got older now, so he's you think of him as being a man with a goatee, like a bit little goatee beard.
Yeah.
But and this is true of my dad as well. I consider him to be a man with a beard, but now he's older, it's all gone completely white, so it's essentially invisible. So does he still have it?
Interesting.
I always think, do other people think my dad's got a beard? Because it's so transparent that it doesn't look like it.
Transparent, literally and metaphorically, presumably. Can see right through it.
Yeah. So, don't know.
Well, Holloway's gone there. But what we can say is that is a busy old month against some teams that are quite handy. I don't know. I mean, January, obviously, by the end of January, 4 more league games now.
I think it's important that we kind of get some people back and fit again, because we don't want to keep, like I was saying, how well Jaden Richardson did earlier on. He's not. We can't rely on him in that position, and it'd be unfair to.
Yeah.
And so I hope we can get some people back. I know Fisher's injured as well, isn't he? And I know Jose's back.
Yeah.
But
well, let's talk about who came on against Forest Green. Do you see that? Jordan Tilson.
Tilson, yeah.
Up from the gravy arose.
Well, I think he's just still knocking around and happy to do a job if he's called upon, isn't he?
Fair play. I mean, that's really helpful. Because what you don't want is people causing a load of fuss. Like, when am I getting on?
To be honest, the times I've seen him play this season has mostly been in the kind of in the leasing.com.
Right.
And I think he played a bit in, I don't know. Anyway, I've seen him a few times, and he's not looked like he was the best player on the pitch or anything.
Of course.
So, it's useful to have there.
Absolutely.
Especially when you're down to in situations like yesterday. I'm very glad to see him.
We're going to need, we're not going to need. I'm hoping a Jose can give us something. I mean, obviously he's getting back to fitness. Obviously he never really kind of, when he started playing back in August, he hadn't yet kind of found his way of doing it. So it'd be really good if we could find.
Yeah, definitely.
You could find a space rather than just a kind of 15 minutes, see what you can do.
Yeah.
And Lewis Ward's, of course, back on the bench firmly. And I like that Taylor's keeping faith with Maxted. We were talking about it, weren't we? The morning of the...
Are you reckon it's that?
I think it might be. I mean, he's had a few brain failures.
I think Ward's not quite ready to play yet.
Well, we'll see.
Because as much as Maxted is capable of, good performances and stays like that, I don't trust him anywhere near as much as Lewis Ward. And you kind of think half those situations probably could be avoided by having Ward in the goal in the first place.
Yeah.
Catches, crosses. Maxted punches everything that comes anywhere near him, or most of the time tries to punch anything that comes. the ball.
I
until it
often
goes
imagine
near
he's
him.
making this noise and trying to make the punch and then missing.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I'm not knocking Maxted. He's won us some points. This
Yeah, he
season.
really has.
Probably won us more than he's lost us.
Well, that's keep him in the positive then.
Yeah, that's still positive.
Well,
But
we'll
I
see.
think if
Ward's on the bench.
If both fully fit, based on what we've seen this season, which is like at this point fairly equal. I mean, I'm not sure exactly how many games, but we've seen a good amount of Max. We've seen a good amount of Ward.
Yeah.
Ward's a better keeper, if you ask me.
Yeah. Well, I think that's
all
true.
round.
I think that's
it's
true.
definitely the better keeper. So I think he's just not quite there yet.
I wonder who'll start the old.
In the case of an emergency, he'd be fine. But
yeah. I wonder who'll start the old leasing game because, of course, Visser's the.
Yeah, but I think he might have picked up an injury as well because before Ward came back, Visser wasn't on the bench. It was is it Wheel?
Oh, the young lad.
Yeah. So who knows? Maybe Dino's back now. So I hope it'd be him because I'd like to see him play again. And as is the way with reserve goalkeepers, you don't get to see them very often.
No, indeed.
And if you like him, which I do like Dino Visser,
as we know.
But I mean, who doesn't? He's saved 3 out of 3 penalties.
Absolutely.
I think he's fairly, he's given himself a bit of a kind of something for City fans to remember him once he's gone.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see him. So.
Okay. Well, we'll see. That'd be interesting.
But I'd like to see Ward back in, and I imagine we will. Like at some point in January, he'll be back in the starting 11.
January is a very busy month, like we said, 5 league games plus leasing. It'll be quite interesting, of course. At the end of January, we'll have played 29, which is actually starting to look like, that's starting to feel like we're kind of in the final run-in, doesn't it?
Scary.
Scary times. There's 46 games to play, so there'll be 17 left.
Okay.
I mean, that'll be a real... If we're in and around it then, that's outstanding, isn't it? We've given ourselves a really good chance.
There's still a long way to go.
There's absolutely a really
even
long way
after
to go.
January's out the way.
Of course.
That's still... But you can't... What can you ask for, You could ask for top. And that's only 3 points different to what we've got now. So, what more could you ask for?
I don't know. I haven't looked up the stats on this. I don't know if we're the most informed team, but 8 unbeaten is excellent, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think it's important to keep focusing on yourself. And as tempting as it is to always be looking around at what everyone else is doing, I think what Matt Taylor's having in his mind and what, Tisdale always used to say, and most people really, you just got to focus on what you're doing and just keep winning your games. And just keep not losing, and that'll be enough.
Indeed. Of course, 1st of February kicks off with away at Swindon, so that could be a really interesting match, couldn't it?
Yeah. I'd hope maybe the landscape might look a little bit different by the end of January. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
You never know, do you?
No, you don't. Well, that's what 2020 looks like so far.
Yeah.
It's been an excellent start to the year.
Do you know
obviously.
my observations so far of 2020?
Well, it's not as futuristic as I thought it would be.
Nah, same, innit? It's just the same.
No robots made me my breakfast.
Nothing. Nothing's changed.
I've not been accused of a crime I might commit in the future. It's very normal.
Yeah, disappointing.
Are you going to start telling people you were, around in the 20s?
Yeah. Well, they'll think of something else, won't they?
2020s, it's a bit of a mouthful.
The 2020s. No, it's cool. People love that, youngsters.
2020s, youngsters.
Hey.
But I don't know if it has the same appeal for youngsters, because we remember people talking about the 20s. Oh, back in the 20s.
When an old man wakes up from a coma and he's like, what year is this? And then his cool millennial grandkids go, it's the 2020s, Grandad. Get with the programme.
Yeah, what a picture you've painted there. How long has he been in a coma?
Ages. He's like, who's the Exeter City manager? Is it still Inglethorpe? Like, nah.
Yeah. Is Gary Warren still a young, sprightly player?
Well, he's still playing for the under-23s.
That's true. That's true. Well, more of these thoughts on the future next time. I guess we'll...
Definitely. We had 2 days, so let's give it another week.
All right, let's see
Next time
it
we're back,
pans
we'll
out.
see how futuristic things have become.
Okay, all right. I guess we'll do something next week after the leasing game. We'll have more to talk about, I'm sure.
Yeah, I forgot it was that.
Well, we'll see. Bear with us, listeners. See what happens.
Yeah, we might do. Depends on
Depends on what happens in the transfer window as well, of course, which
Of course,
is now open.
and whether or not we go, and whether or not it's any good. Or...
Are we up for transfer?
Yeah. Yeah.
Imagine...
Crawley are interested.
I'd never go to Crawley out of principle. Imagine having to talk about the People's Pension Stadium all the time.
Oh, yeah. Where would you go then if the price was right?
Oh, I don't know. Interesting. I mean, I'm pretty committed to Exeter City, but I think if Real Madrid came in...
Okay, yeah, of course. No,
I don't speak Spanish, so I need a translator, which maybe you don't want on the podcast.
No other League Two teams?
No, I'd like to see if we get into League One.
You can still support City.
I'd like to see if we can get promoted into League One, then maybe a Championship team would come in for us.
Yeah, possibly. Like Randell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if...
I'm thinking of myself very much as the Randell Williams of this podcast, whereas I'm here and I'm happy to be here and I'll put the work in.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I'm waiting for that call from the Championship team.
I'm really more the Jake Taylor. I could have played at a higher level in the past, but now I know that this is the best I'm ever going to get. So.
And whoever comes in after me, you'll just be like, yeah, great, they're really good. And
yeah, I'm starting to blood the youngsters. You don't know this, but I'm doing a secret under 23s podcast.
Right.
Just about like cool kid things.
Exeter City stuff.
No, just anything. Like I've been talking about TikTok a lot.
Okay, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Is Gary Warren on TikTok still?
He's on Facebook though. You can find him on Facebook. Interesting insights.
That's okay. Cool.
If you want to stalk him.
Not really.
You say that, but we've all seen you outside.
Never meet your heroes.
That's true. Well, thanks for listening, everyone. If you are interested in becoming an understudy to Dan before he moves on to bigger and better things, or worse things, I might get rid of him. Let's not forget that. Tiverton Town. Then get in touch. You can get in touch with us, as always, on Twitter, @BigBankPod.
Yep.
On Facebook, the Big Bang Theory Podcast. And via email, bigbankpod@gmail.com. I've got a question. There's another podcast provider. Someone was telling us about this the other day.
Well, yeah, it's Acast, isn't it?
Acast.
I was already aware of this, but I thought it was a subscription kind of paid thing.
That's what I thought.
But apparently not.
So if you want to listen to us on Acast or any other podcast provider we don't know about,
let
us know.
The problem is I live in a bubble where I think, I've got an iPhone, so I kind of think, everyone else has too. And I don't, but, maybe they don't.
So you can listen to us on the following things: Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, the Apple podcasting, and the podcast app, which is an Android one, as well as, did I say YouTube? I don't know if I did.
You did.
Okay, so you can listen there. If there's some amazing thing that we just don't know about, that you need for Android phones or to listen on your digital radio or something that I don't know about, let us know, and we'll see if we can do that. Otherwise, if you're happy, maybe you're trying to listen to us on Acast and you can't, in which case you don't hear this. So I don't know.
I mean, if you are hearing this, it's not your problem.
No.
So it's kind of pointless to mention.
But if
if you're listening to it on this and you think, I'd rather be listening to this on Acast or SoundCloud or Deezer.
There's those things, aren't there, that I don't know about.
Tidal, or I don't know.
I don't know either.
If Jay-Z's listening, and he's like, would rather listen to it on his own.
Matt Jay-Z.
Yeah, any of them. Anyway.
Let us know. But also, don't forget to leave us some reviews. We've had a few more nice reviews over the last few days. Feel free to leave us a review on iTunes, on Spotify. I think you can do it, or you can give us a thumbs up or something.
Facebook, whatever.
We appreciate it. Thanks for being with us in our second year of broadcasting.
Yeah, cheers.
We'll see you soon.
Yep, see you in a bit.
Bye.